So I saw at WWE Summerslam 2014. Hi everyone, I'm Brandon Prosek and this is the So I Saw Show, bringing you my latest WWE review, biggest party of the summer, whatever you want to call it, SummerSlam. As you've seen for one of my last WWE reviews when I reviewed Money in the Bank, my new system for reviewing WWE pay-per-views is I'm just going to go match by match, analyze each one, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then add up the total at the end, and then whatever the total comes out to, give the overall pay-per-view a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Kicked off the night with the first match being the Intercontinental Champion The Miz taking on Dolph Ziggler. Based on my shirt, I'm pretty sure you all knew who I was rooting for. Dolph Ziggler finally gets the win we've been wanting ever since he lost his title last year. Say what you will about The Miz. I'm sorry, I enjoyed his WWE title run back in 2011. I thought he was great as a heel. He seemed so natural at it. But WWE just really butchered his character. I think just no one cares anymore. And you saw it tonight. When he came out to the ring, there weren't boos, there weren't cheers, there was just no reaction. WWE did the right thing. They made the fans happy. They gave Dolph Ziggler the belt. Hopefully this means something new will happen. Maybe they'll unify the title with Sheamus. As far as the match goes, Miz and Ziggler, they've had better in the past. I feel like they were kind of off in certain things. It was kind of slow at parts. Overall, I have to give it a thumbs up because Ziggler finally gets the win. Second match of the night was the rematch between Paige and AJ, and I actually enjoy these two together because both of them can actually wrestle. They're not terrible, models trying to be wrestlers like Eva Marie. They actually give these two a story. There's a story. It's not just two divas fighting each other because WWE feels like having those two fight now. I'm glad that they decided to give the belt back to Paige because having AJ win again just would have been just a kind of a burying of Paige. They have pretty good in-ring chemistry. I think this feud can last another pay-per-view before they're going to have to start mixing it up. But I enjoyed these two. WWE, give you another thumbs up. Next match on the card was Rusev, Don't Call Me Alexander, taking on the Real American Jack Swagger. The only thing that I kind of had a beef on with this match was, it was a flag match, which I'm not really sure what that was supposed to be. I thought it was going to be a flag on a pole match or something, but it was just a regular match, but they brought their flags to the ring. It was confusing because they always bring the flags to the ring. So it's just, why bill it as a flag match when really it's just a match? Really the only beef though, I really enjoyed though that Rusev sold that ankle thing the entire match. He even looked like he was crying when he put on the camel clutch. But of course you had to see Rusev won, and his push is going to continue. They're going to keep pushing him to be a monster heel down the road. I give this match also thumbs up. Comes my favorite match of the night. It was Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. Finally. We've been waiting for this match since the night after Payback. They decided to do a lumberjack match. And although I was a little disappointed in the fact that the briefcase wasn't on the line and that was just a lumberjack match, I thought these two were creative. They made, the crowd was totally into it. They love Ambrose. Some creative spots with the lumberjacks, like suplexing out of the ring, diving onto all of them. I was afraid when they started running up into the crowd that this was going to end in some sort of count out, some sort of slap finish, but no, they decided to get back in the ring. These two have great chemistry. I think these two need to continue this feud. I think it still has legs. I think it could go for at least another pay-per-view or two, considering this was their first one-on-one match together. You can have another one where some other stipulation. It could last Night of Champions. It could probably last until Hell in a Cell. If I could, I wanted to give it a double thumbs up, but I'm just going to give it a solid A+ thumbs up. It was my favorite match of the night. Next match was Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho, Y2J. And sort of like how I felt with their match at Battleground, this wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It just, I think these two guys don't quite click. Like, their mic skills are great, and I love some of the verbal things they've done back and forth. But as far as it goes in the ring, it's just, to me, it's not quite there. Best part about this match was the fact that Bray Wyatt got a solid win. There was no cheating involved with Rowan or Harper or any kind of shenanigans like there was back at Extreme Rules when he beat Cena. It was just a straight up, he beat Jericho. And this is what Bray Wyatt needed. The only thing I'm worried about is just exactly where Bray Wyatt's going to go after he's done with Jericho. Are they going to feud for Jericho's last pay-per-view match next at Night of Champions? Or is he going to start facing someone else? Because I'm not sure if I like this pattern that whenever Bray Wyatt has to feud with someone, it has to last for 3 pay-per-views. The match wasn't that great, but usually when they give me the finish I want, I just have to give it a thumbs up. Next match on the card was Stephanie McMahon versus Brie Bella. This match, I enjoyed the story going into it, but so I was afraid that this was just going to be sloppy. They did okay, they told the story they needed to tell. Stephanie McMahon sporting a interesting ring gear, looked like she was trying to make fun of China a little bit with this. Of course, they go with the whole angle that Nikki turns on Brie, costs her the match. The only complaint I had about it was I felt like the match itself lasted a little too long. It felt like it was like 6 minutes of just Stephanie McMahon beating on Brie Bella. I thought it was just a little bit obvious when Nikki came out and she didn't attack Triple H or try to help at all. She just came out and stood there. I was like, okay, this is a little obvious. She's going to turn on Brie. I don't mind the fact that the turn happened and we had, we're going to set up a sister versus sister feud. I just felt like Nikki could have done a better job. For this to really work though, for Nikki to turn on Brie, I really think that Nikki should go full on heel. She should join the Authority. I really think this heel turn could work. It's just they need to follow through with it. It's interesting that 2 Divas matches on the card, WWE has really written stories with these. Let's hope they keep this going. I give Stephanie and Brie because it was a great story, interesting little twist at the end. I had to give them also thumbs up. Match on the card was Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. This one, I feel like a lot of people were kind of forgetting about because we have all the stuff happening with Ambrose and Rollins. We have Cena versus Lesnar. Randy Orton being kind of a buzzkill for the past year or so. I think he needed a match like this to kind of show that he's still relevant. And these two, I think they worked pretty well. I think it was a good match that showed Roman Reigns isn't just someone that needs to come in a tag team match with a hot tag and hit his big moves. He can do a singles match. Again, this was another match kind of like Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho where it wasn't bad, it wasn't amazing, but it was good. It was entertaining enough to watch and got to give it a thumbs up. Final match on the card was Brock Lesnar versus John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. As far as the match goes, it was a little interesting booking. It was obvious that they needed Lesnar to beat Cena to continue the story because there's no way he could beat the streak and then lose to Cena at SummerSlam. So he needed to win. The problem though was it was strange that they had Lesnar straight up kill Cena in the ring basically, doing 16 German suplexes, a few F5s. It was so strange to see Cena just get dominated. I'm happy with the ending result, but I would have preferred a competitive match. I would have preferred that Cena put up a good fight for the first 10 minutes or so and then have 10 minutes of annihilation. But have 20 minutes of just getting straight up killed? Interesting booking, but because they followed through with this story and they didn't have Cena go Super Cena kind of like he did on Nexus back in 2010, had to give this match also a thumbs up. So wow, I didn't believe that a pay-per-view would do this, but SummerSlam getting just a perfect score of thumbs up all around. SummerSlam with this pay-per-view, it was kind of them making up for Battleground. Battleground was a lot of false finishes, matches that didn't happen, some stuff that it felt like it was just filler. And SummerSlam was just making up for all of that. Comment below, let's discuss. What do you think will happen at Night of Champions? Who do you think Lesnar will face? Will it be him versus Cena? Will Undertaker come back? Will Sting finally debut? But anyway, if you guys want to find me on Twitter, my Twitter's right there. If you also want to follow Entertainment Buffet, my production company, on Twitter, that Twitter handle's right there below that one. If you want to find Entertainment Buffet on Facebook, you can find us right there at facebook.com/entertainmentbuffet. If you go ahead and hit that big red button right below that, you can subscribe to the page Check out all my reviews for movies, TV shows. We have a bunch of new sketch comedy coming for you this fall. We have literally, I have 4 editors working on different sketches coming for you guys. So please stay tuned when they'll start pumping out for you guys. Alright guys, thanks for watching. And now you saw the So I Saw Show.